Okay.
Tell me when you started.
I've started it.
Great. we really appreciate the points that you made. That it is, especially from the utilitarian standpoint and the way you calculated out the utility, and that it wouldn't be a great deterrent for future acts. And we agree as a group. We take the same stance as you that it is not ethical. But we would also like to add some points that we feel would make the argument even stronger, and maybe some things that could have possibly been overlooked. We would really like to talk about how the purpose of punishment in any case is to punish the act, not the person. And we feel, especially with shaming, that it punishes more so the person than telling them that the act is wrong, for a lot of the same points that you made, but for a few other different reasons.
One reason we found that this wasn't effective, or that this was unethical, one counterpoint we found to this was contractarianism, because according to the contract of the society we live in, if you break a law you should be punished. However, we found this was outweighed by the other points, for the reason that, for one, public shaming isn't very effective, and if you're according to that contract, you should be punished so that you can reform and become better. And so if it's not effective, it should be a different punishment, which is our other point. There are other punishments which are much better than public shaming, which we could use, and so we should use them instead of public shaming.
The second point that we were talking about a little earlier is that you're shaming the person and not the act. And so for example, when the mother made her daughter apologize for cyberbullying online, the people will not necessarily remember that act of cyberbullying, but they will associate the person with that act, and that will follow her for the rest of her life. And therefore, that it makes it immoral.
We would also argue that, especially from a Kantian perspective, that Kant says you should never use people as a means to an end, and I feel like we feel as a team that in this case that the people are being used as a means, as like putting them up on this pedestal of like, look at this person and you can be just like this person, and they're not treated with the intrinsic value that each person has. We really feel very strongly that it just shames the person and not the act. We would also argue that